Hey, gun people. Gonna do a crazy cop story. I just did a horsey video where I had to go chase my horses, and one of them escaped. You want to go find out? It's on the Horse Channel. But anyway, so I was watching a video this morning on YouTube, and it reminded me of a couple of things that cops do when they're bored or goofing around. So, and the video I saw was it's floating around where these two cops are fighting over the one Krispy Kreme donut, and they're fighting each other on the side of the highway. So, and cops are, I think people that are extreme in certain areas are extreme in most areas. So people who are very passionate in one area, they're normally passionate in another area. So, I mean, everybody's always like, you know, be level, be level, be level. Well, yeah, but that drive, that type A personality that drives like cops, that risk-taking, that danger, that military guys, you know, carrying a gun, running to gunfire instead of from gunfire. Those are just traits that I don't know, I want to say the last real men of America. Now they're turning everybody into pink beret wearing, pink panty wearing men that are sensitive and in touch, and you can't do anything that's dangerous, and you know, you gotta freaking act like a woman in order to be a man nowadays. So anyway, the cop attracts that risk-taking, aggressive, willing to fight, risk his life, military same way. The flip side of that is when they party and relax and have fun, they're usually extreme. You know, that's why alcohol use is high, risk-taking is high. Most cops, firemen, military, they always got fast cars, fast motorcycles, you know, guns, they skydive, they do risk-taking things to challenge them, always to challenge yourself to be better. So, and the point of that is, the flip side of that is, when they party, they do some crazy stuff. I just thought of one that I didn't think of, the drug guys shooting up the elevator. I might have mentioned that in another video. We were having a undercover drug conference for drug guys, so we all meet at this hotel, and nobody's a cop, nobody knows, but guys get drunk and they end up shooting up the elevator, and you know, it's covered up, and the cops come and they're like, we'll take care of it, we'll pay, and you know, no charges, no anything, and everybody goes, oh, the cops are freaking, yeah. They just party hard and they do things, so they're risk takers. So this one incident I was thinking of was this one donut shop, and you got to remember, back in the day, cops went to donut shops because there wasn't a Starbucks on every corner. There wasn't 24-hour stuff all the time. The only place that opened up early in the morning, in the middle of the night, at 4 o'clock in the morning, when the cops are working, when they were finally downtime, and either they had arrested everybody that was out and moving, or everybody was asleep and in bed, but the cops had to be awake, the donut shops would open at 4 to start making their donuts. So they would always allow cops to come in here and have coffee. And that's how where cops hung out at donut shops, and the donut cop thing got connected in the first place. But there was this donut shop in this city, and me and my partner, I really liked, they made these muffins. And it was like a cream cheese muffin. They were really good. So he would make them fresh. They'd be warm like at 4:30 in the morning. So if we were, you know, working a graveyard shift after we got caught up with our paper and everything that we arrested earlier and everything, we'd cruise over there, and he expected us, and the shift kind of learned that we used to go there. So they kind of cracking on us a little bit. So one night, me and my partner go in here, and we park in the parking lot. We usually kind of parked to where other cops couldn't see our car because we knew they'd just give us shit, so we try to hide our car a little bit. Well, we come out to get in our car, and in this agency, all the police cars have the same key. So every cop has their own key to the police car, so if anybody locks their key in a car, or you got to move somebody's car and they took their key, your key will fit every car. So all the keys, all the cop cars have the same key, and every cop has a key to every car. So you don't have to worry about lost keys and who's got the key to this one, who took it home. We got to have a copy, and it makes it easier. It was a good setup. I liked it. So everybody had our keys, so we come outside with our donuts and coffee. Well, I think he got a donut. I think I had my muffin. But anyway, it didn't matter. We had a donut bag. So we come walking out of this, and there's an intersection right here at the donut shop, and our car's like parked in the middle of the intersection with the emergency flashers on. And for that split second, we walk out, and there was that pause, like, why is our car? And all of a sudden, 3 or 4 units come pulling up with their red lights, and they all hit their siren and put their spotlight on us. So we're standing there. I won't tell the other cop's name because it was Dan. Screw it. So me and Dan standing there, we're like, what the? So I mean, we're just semi-embarrassed, semi-like, you piece of shits. So they got their lights, siren, everybody's putting on. It's 4:30 in the morning, it's dead quiet. We gotta walk out to our car while they're spotlighting us on the loudspeaker saying stupid shit, and we're just like, Jesus Christ. So cops they play tricks a lot, and sometimes our tricks are a little dangerous, and sometimes people get hurt. My other partner that I was talking to, he went to a new agency. He's in there, they're talking shit, cops are in there skirting around, they start having an arm wrestling contest, he breaks his arm. Breaks his arm in briefing. How are you going to explain that? See, administration is going to automatically be, you guys are horse playing. And they did. They wrote him up, said he was horse playing, it was unprofessional. I mean, cops do that all the time. They goof off, and then as soon as it goes bad, administration's got to start documenting, slamming, and giving you a letter in your jacket and saying you're unprofessional, and now it's going to be in your eval. So, I mean, that's why cop work just so sucks. Besides the public being after you in the media and everybody hating you because you got there too late or too soon or you weren't there when they were robbed, the administration just... You know, the guys that move up were never cops. They don't understand it. They forget where they came from, and all they want to do is be good admin guys to write everybody up so they can feel good about ruining some cop's career. It's just ridiculous. But I always said cops eat their own. Military do the same thing to young guys. They treat them like shit, kind of like that rite of passage shit. But anyway, so he broke his arm because they were goofing off. But I mean, cops just do that. We get in fights. We wrestle. Who's going to take? I mean, if they were at the gym and they said it was training, then it'd be okay. But since it was in briefing, and it wasn't training and one at the gym, then we can't have you guys horse playing, now he's out. And then I think they tried to say the medical wouldn't provide it because it didn't happen on duty, because he wasn't performing duties. So then they denied his medical, so he had to pay for his medical bill. I mean, it was just ridiculous. But so another thing that we did when we were goofing around at night is at 3 or 4 in the morning when there's nothing going on and you cops are the only ones in the city, we had this one sergeant that would pull up, and you know, cops are always parking head to toe so the two driver's sides can see each other, and the cops are looking this way and the cops are looking. So anytime you see cops park together, they don't park like this facing the same direction. One faces just like horses. You see them head to tail. One faces this way, one. So you can see both directions. You can hear, you got a better view. Both the driver's door are next to each other so you can talk and whisper without being hearing it unless you key your mic and then everybody hears you and you look like an idiot. But, so, we're sitting there BSing one night, and a sergeant comes up and goes, all right, let's do some driver training. You guys keep up. And the sergeant takes off. We're like, all right, cool. So we hit our lights just in case we get an accident. We can say we were chasing somebody. So we're rolling around the city at 3, 4 in the morning, just chasing, going around corners, spinning. I mean, just hauling. And, you know, the sergeant's like, stay up with me. And he was trying to lose us, and we were trying to catch him. Now, was that technically training? No. Was it effective? Yeah, we had a good time. It broke up the night. You know, we got to run some rubber off the county tires. We got to burn up some gas. But had we wrecked, had we hit a car, had a kid been running out, you know, a burglar even running out of a house after he burglarized a house and we ran him over, we'd be screwed. So again, there's that risk-taking behavior that comes with this aggressive, testosterone-strong type of personality, and I like those guys. I mean, I like cops. I like guys who are guys, risk-taking, hardcore. You know, not afraid of shit. Well, you know what? Let's try this. So, so that was one thing, and then because we were always playing games on this thing, we come out one night, and back before fingerprints, now they got the live scan. You put your hand on there, and it's almost like a copy machine. It runs, it takes your fingerprints, you're done, you're pretty easy. It used to be, when you want to do something, we had a black tube, it's like a tube of toothpaste. It's this black ink, you squirt a little out, you get your little black roller, and you spin it nice and thin. The thinner you can get, the better. Then you roll each finger, and then you roll each finger on a piece of paper. Well, that black ink is a pain in the ass. Gets on your uniform, gets on your hands, you got to wash it. I mean, some people used to wear gloves, this is a pain. We come out in our car, and the freaking sergeant had taken an ink pad, a ball of ink, squirted it on our windshield and rubbed it back and forth. and because it was dark, we didn't know it. So we get in the car, and he tells, we get dispatch, go check out something, because he had called dispatch, goes, hey, send these guys on the call, they're at the PD screwing off anyway, send them out there. So we go hop in our car, it's dark, we get in the car, we're like, what the, man, that's weird. So it took us a second to figure out what the, so my partner hits the stinking windshield wiper. Gee, that shit smeared God, oh my God. It took us freaking hour or two to get that. It was just horrible. We were cussing, the sergeant drive by, laughing, smiling, going. Now, was that funny? Yeah, he screwed us. But had we got a call at that time, we couldn't take the car. Obviously, another car, we'd have to jump in another car, wouldn't have our gear. Again, cops goof off and play stupid games like that, and they're always doing stupid, crazy things. Hell, there's so many jokes and stuff. This one guy got in a shooting one time, and he shot up everything in the city except the suspect. So the dude fired at him a couple times, and he fired like 6 shots, and he hit like 3 houses, 2 cars, and a water heater. So the big joke for a while was like, dude, if Woody gets in a freaking shooting, man, you better be freaking out of the city or your life's in danger. Because, but he was shooting and spraying and praying and running for freaking, hey, he didn't get shot, so who cares? So what, the bad guy got away, and a couple homes and cars and water heater had to give their life. But for a while they were getting shit, so what they did is they got an old pair of uniform pants, and they got some like tar or turpentine that looked like shit, and they smeared it all over these pants, and they split his pants, and they hung it on his freaking locker in the room and said, here's Woody's pants after he got in a shooting. So they did it, of course, after the shift, and he went home. So all the other shifts were coming and seeing his shit all day, and everybody was writing and adding other shit. And some of the shit the cops do, if the public knew, they'd be like outraged and offended. Some would be like, hey, you got to relieve some stress. You're always dealing with life or death. You're always seeing shit. You got to have a release. Kind of like those guys in the military that were peeing on those dead guys. Is that the best way to do it? No, but you got to understand that the stress and the bullshit and the negative and the constant beatdown, there has to be some way to release, and guys usually release in very odd ways. They call it black humor. If you ever watch MASH, they're in there operating on people that are dying, and they're seeing blood every day, and they're making jokes, and they're laughing. Now the public sees that, that's insensitive. How could you? Somebody's dying, and you're not even taking it serious. And I've got that shit before. I've laughed on a crime scene. Somebody come up, hey man, I got a complaint over here because the public says you were laughing, and but some of the scenes are so, I don't want to go there and just start crying and go, oh, people, how can I do this? I hate this job. But people be complaining, oh, we can't have that, you got to go. But if you laugh, oh, we can't have that. So again, everybody wants these robots to go out here and be unhuman, yet they want them to be human when they make decisions, interact with people, make decisions, make judgment calls. So, those were a few. I thought there was one other one, but I couldn't remember. That same sergeant that blacked out our windshield, he drove a little. I don't know if they still make a little Honda Civic. They used to make this Honda Civic, and this car was like a freaking little bitty box. It was small wheelbase. So we called a couple of units over because he was getting off early that night. He said, I'm going to be leaving at 4. We knew he was leaving at 4 something. So at about 3. We went in there while he was in a PD, and we got his car, and that little bitty car was just 4 of us could pick it up. And literally, we picked that sucker up, and there was 2 cars parked like this, and we put that sucker in there and squeezed it in between 2 cars. And the 2 cars were county cars that worked for the city or the county. They weren't cops, so they weren't going to be in until 7 in the morning. So when we got this in here, there was literally less than an inch between the front and the rear. It took us a long time. We're moving it inch by inch, sliding tires sideways, and we trapped his freaking personal car in there. So he comes out at 4 in the morning thinking he's going home, and we're sitting across the parking lot, and he looks at his freaking car and goes, oh man, you can just see the wheels turn like those mother. So he gets in that freaking car, I shit you not, for like 30 minutes. He was going reverse, forward. And he slowly bumped the shit out of those cars. Bump, bump, because you don't want a car's parked, it's got a little play. So he was playing each car, and in about 30, 45 minutes, I don't know, maybe an hour, that sucker, he got his freaking car out, drove by, we hit the lights and waved. Oh, actually, that cop is a lawyer now. He got out, retired, and became a lawyer, and he's a defense attorney. Anyway, those are some crazy cop stories on how cops goof off, relieve stress. Ain't that there?